Well, I had a very productive day. Hang on, I look at the sky. So I had a pretty productive day. I was studying. I was working, and then I was like, oh, I have enough energy to study. So I've literally done zero of the reading, and I've done a portion of the assignment, which is due next Sunday. And so I'm like a little bit behind. I have to get more information on what the hell I'm doing because I did the poster portion of it, not realizing what on earth I'm supposed to be actually doing. I sort of, figured during the course of a lecture that you had to have an assignment with pictures and something appealing for teenagers, and I was like, I like the plain formatted poster the best. Then I realized this doesn't have any pictures. I think it's supposed to include pictures. And so I did 4 facts with 5 pictures. And pictures, I don't know, it adds a difference. It doesn't necessarily make it most professional. But like I said, you're trying to engage teenagers. And so it's like pictures help sometimes, but me personally, I don't really think it would engage me necessarily, but at the same time, when you're a teenager, you do look at documents with heaps of pictures on them, so I'm not sure if this is like what I should be doing, but it's what I ended up doing, and stuff like that. And then I came out here to take the chickens for a walk, and the dog doesn't feel like going indoors or up the stairs, so I can't take the chickens out for a walk because then the dog will attack them. So, saying that, I'm not doing anything with the chickens right now, and the dog is just lounging around doing exactly what they would have done if they were up on the deck, and if they could be on the deck, I would have been able to take the chickens up, but they don't feel like moving. I can't budge them. So I just left the dog there. Obviously. But today I was going to start with having a really off day because I was so depressed yesterday. We virtually had a rupture on our internet Wi-Fi satellite. And so a technician will be coming at the end of this oncoming week to fix it. Oh, I missed it. I missed it because I was talking to the sky. There's totally a kangaroo there. Oh, there it is. Oh. Anyway. What was I saying? Anyway, I was depressed because I thought I wouldn't be able to work. And then I was moody because whoever, a couple of them. There was a little one and a bigger one. That's awesome. They look like kangaroos today, but they might be wallabies, I don't know. The other one looked like a kangaroo. That second one looked like a little baby, whatever it was. What's that? Sitting stump. I should come and eat an apple down here and leave the apple core near the fence line. Then a kangaroo might be able to nibble at something tasty. So far I've been leaving the apple cores in the bird dish, and they've been eating them because we get a lot of parrots and budgies and things which like fruit too. I haven't tried leaving apple down here for the kangaroos. I should just chuck an apple core, maybe they'll nibble in it. Anyway, I was gonna say, I was kind of depressed because I didn't think I would get to work this week. And then I was moody because whoever I live with didn't want to drive me to anyone else's house so that I can borrow their Wi-Fi and, do whatever I'm supposed to be doing for work. I would have had to sort of badger them today, and by that time I would have lost my shift. And so I was sort of moody and depressed. I was going to ask, if there was any other way to connect this phone that we're supposed to work with. Little birdie down there. And because it's supposed to connect to internet, but yesterday it wasn't connecting. So with our satellite out, we had to connect the internet via a USB cable. So we needed a yellow cable, and that seemed to work, but then the phone portion of it was not working. And so then I was like, well, what am I going to do? Do I have to get them to connect me in the office? So I left a question on the internet last night, and then I deleted it and re-asked it this morning. Then I deleted it again once I realized, and this is the positive side to the morning, when I turned on the computer, I checked to see if it was working, and it finally was. So I think because it was newly connected to the internet yesterday, it wasn't working yesterday, but today when I turned it on, it was working. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm so happy. And I was so happy that it worked and that I could do my job. And it wasn't a big deal. And it was pretty awesome. And then I was happy. And then I was contented. Then I was doing my job. I kind of sucked today though. I didn't do hardly any interviews because most calls that I made went to message bank, and so I literally didn't talk to anyone for the whole 4 hours. And instead of doing 4 to 8 surveys, I did 2. So that was my big work day. But the important thing is I managed to log in, my phone worked, and I managed to do my job, and I didn't lose money after all. So that was a big ordeal that I had since yesterday. So I went through a complex maze of moods, and then I was happy, left happy, and then I was so happy that I was like, oh, and I also need to study. So because I didn't get to do last week's worth of study load, and then this week, this week is much the same. I didn't do any studies in this last week, and so since it's Sunday, the last day of the previous week, I said better get to do some study, and so I finally got some study done today. It took a few hours. You're supposed to be doing 10 hours a week, but I do 3 or 4 hours a week, and I did a portion of the assignment, which I virtually knew nothing about because I haven't read the actual assignment outline very well, and just sort of perceiving what other people have done and going off the top of my head about this stuff. And so I have to do some research. I have to do some sort of written thing to go with it. But usually they're 350 words, and that doesn't take more than an hour for me to write and edit. So it doesn't really take that long to do. And so I should have it all done by Sunday, but I have to have it done correctly. And I'm not sure about my poster. I think my poster is a little bit lame. But if I were a teenager and I had a poster like that, it's technically when I was a teenager, you did have photographed posters with pictures on them. And when they were printed, they were often a bit blotchy. And I was like, well, this is sort of like the kind of poster you might see some information. So I kept the pictures, even though they're kind of lame as and make it look lame. I'd rather do a box outline to capture the information, but I'm keeping the pictures just for sake. And and then I'm redoing it, so blah 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 blah. So I've got a whole week worth of assignment building to do, but and I probably have to like answer questions and put stuff up on the posts, and you have to do like 2 references in particular formats, and then you have to do like, oh, what are you going to write as a blah blah blah, whatever written document we have to write. And then there's one more, there's a draft version of your assignment or something or other at the end. And then after I do all those, I can finally submit my professionalized version of an assignment. And then I'm like, oh, then I'll be done. So I've got a whole week to do that, which is okay because I only work a few days this week. So I've already done 1 day, and I work 3 or 4 more days. So that's alright. So overall, I had a pretty good day. I did everything that I was needing to do. I got the internet working. I can use the internet tomorrow and the day after and the day after that and blah blah blah. And I can also do my assignment and everything's up peaches. And I can, work on other stuff. I've got to get this crappy. I've been meaning to, edit music for like a month now. And I've only edited like a few songs. Like last week I edited 2 songs and I was like, well, that's progress. And I sort of promised myself I would edit 2 songs every day. But I've only edited that one version of 2 songs, so I haven't done any editing. And I'm like, I keep telling myself, come on, 1 or 2 songs a day is not going to put you out of pocket, and you get more progress that way. Even if you don't do the flux of 5 to 10 songs at a time, it's like 2 songs progresses you slowly throughout the month, and so then within a month you should have it all done. And then I was like, I haven't done anything, and I'm like so behind. I'm like, come on, I'm trying to like move on past this collaboration of just experimental tone to do a better, song, because I got some new equipment and stuff to make songs with, and I haven't gotten my stuff together over it. And I'm like, oh, come on, get this done so I can do the other stuff, which is, the stuff that's going to have, a bit more of a prospective money-making career. And then I can test it out and see what I get. So last time I used that kind of equipment, I made a song and then I put it online. And I think I made like hundreds of, like over $10,000 in a day. And I was like, oh, this is like the much better, but someone stole my song, my equipment, even my laptop that I had at the time. And so someone stole a whole lot of them. And then, I don't know how they managed to get my song off my own database, but they did somehow. And I was like, I don't know how they managed to do it. I mean, they must have been famous or something. But now I'm not living abroad. I am stabilized at home. No one but me makes songs. And I should be able to do exactly the same thing, only by myself. So, I don't even know what happened anymore. It was so long ago, and it was when I was traveling. And then everyone's like, oh, you're making songs with that. And then, I don't know if I collaborated with anyone for them to sort of, whether they just managed to steal it because they're sort of halfway in the music industry or what, but I don't remember what happened, but something happened, and, I ended up losing, like, all my equipment, my song, everything to do with it. And, they were allowed access to steal my belongings pretty much, and not the first time, because I've traveled all over Europe and everyone's stealing my belongings. Like every time someone says, oh, come with me, we're doing social media, it's like they steal everything that you got, and, if someone else sees you traveling with a bag, they literally go, hey, and then they steal it. So, you get, but because I was sort of half residing in a country for a little while, with, obviously promotion, I was sort of, I don't know if I was supposed to be living with myself. I was probably living with other people because people break in and they go, hey, let's hang around together and let's live with you, and then they won't leave. And so, whatever the case, whatever I was doing, everything was stolen. And so I just recently bought the equipment again because I'm like, oh, I've got spare money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy this and that. And I put this before and it worked. So hopefully something will work and I'll be like gaining inspiration from my past experience, I'll be like, and I think I need to download also a music editor that's gonna cost $200 extra. So I have so many expenditures. Literally, I've spent like $5,000 on myself this year. Like $200 more isn't gonna hurt you. I also want to get a gaming machine. I want so many things. Every time I sit down and think, it's like I want so many more things. It's like I'm doing so many things right now. But anyway, that's enough talking. I'm gonna go.